I am so happy to see you. Another Saturday's here. Let me ask you this question. Are you one of those people who doesn't want to change, but wants to be the change? Or are you always wanting to be part of a network with your own show? Or do you have a lifelong wish to be around people where you will be all adding value to our planet through inspirational, motivational, and uplifting programs? Well, here you are, and here is your opportunity. Listen to this broadcast, and you're going to find out how it's all done. So I want to welcome you officially again to Hang Out with Sandra Longmore. I'm here every Saturday except the last Saturday. I'm here the first 3 Saturdays of the month, and I take the last Saturday off because I practice self-care. Self-care is just taking care of yourself, and I like that weekend off. You know, I love these hangout shows, and I love practicing energy. And one of the things I learned is that I wanted more. So I went out and I got certified as a law of attraction trainer and as a life coach, and I'm an energy master for advanced coaching. And I practice every day. It takes practice. It's just like an exercise muscle, like your pecs here. You got to practice to keep your vibration up, because the vibration is where it's all at. A great vibration that's when all the good stuff comes to you. So when things don't go so good, like we had a little technical difficulty getting on this program today, so when things don't go so good, you just kind of keep that vibration up. No deep sighs, like that. No, none of those things. And that's not what happened to Tony and I and Ann when we were trying to get on, is we just kind of went, oh, da, 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 and here we are 3 minutes before we were to be on. It started working right. So that's a high vibration, and vibrazione is the Italian word for vibration. And I like using that word, vibrazione, because it makes me feel good. So I just love my life, and I love the people who come on my show. So this show is about living that high vibrazione through practicing living life as you are making a painting, drawing a beautiful, beautiful picture. In fact, it's kind of like, living your life as a work of art. And I like that idea so much that I made a community. It's called the Art of Living Ageless Google Community. And you can join that community. Just Google plus me, and you can join my community. I would love to have you, because the community is all about having solutions to whatever your issues are, and through great thoughts and beauty tips. So let's get on with what's going on today. You know, in practicing energy and learning more about the psychology of energy, I learned more about the law of attraction. Now, this is a really funny law. It's not so funny sometimes. Sometimes it can bring out that deep, deep sigh, like, oh, law of attraction, I just hate you. Or law of attraction brought me this. Well, what the funny thing is that law of attraction doesn't bring you anything. Law of attraction just is. It's just like gravity doesn't bring you anything. Law of attraction doesn't bring you anything. It's your vibration that brings you something. An example of this is the vibrational dial here. So if you're out here on average, just so-so, I can just get by, then that's what you're going to get. Attract more opportunities to just get by. Or if you're down here on empty, just like your gas tank, if it says empty, you don't get very far, do you? In fact, you might get stuck, and you might have to pull over and stop and call somebody, but if you remember to keep your vibration high as possible, then you can go wherever you want to go. You can go a long ways on a full tank of gas. You can go a long ways on a high vibrazione. So suppose you were walking around here with a high vibrazione, high vibrating person, and you would just find that you would be attracting more people that match your vibration. And that's when opportunities happen. People call just out of the blue, or you run into somebody in the grocery store and they say, "Hey, are you a law of attraction coach?" Or they might say, "Hey, I understand you were looking for," maybe whatever you were looking for, and you go, "Oh my goodness, what just happened?" And then there you go. That's a high vibrazione. But if you're on a lower vibrazione, then you might run into people who have more drama, are full of angst, and then what are you going to get? More of that. So it's really good to practice your higher vibrazione, and pretty soon the people who are on the lower vibrational scale will kind of disappear from your life. Now, you might feel sad about that. You might say, "I'd like that person back in my life." And then you match where they're at, call them up, you start talking about talking about things that are happening to them, which are down here. And then pretty soon you're going to start matching that, because your vibration, the law of attraction, always matches wherever you're at. So the secret is, if you want to get that person back, keep that person in your life, is to just go into the drama slightly or lightly, and then get it up as fast as you can, your vibration. It's really worth the practice. It's so worth the practice. Now, because, in the vibrational world and in your world, your words create your thoughts, create your emotions, create your results. So if your words are words of despair or negativity, you're going to get thoughts that's, association of ideas, and you're going to get an emotion that doesn't feel good. It feels kind of funny in your chest or in the pit of your stomach, and that's the results. So the secret is to just go back and reset the words and reset the thoughts that reset the emotions and reset the vibration or the results. So that's a little bit about law of attraction. It's a big subject, but I wanted to put in a little bit in our broadcast today. So back to our topic, which is how to be the change you wish to see in the world. And I'd like to introduce my guests now. I will start with Ann White.
Hey there.
So Ann, you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. As Sandra said, my name is Ann White, and I am the founder of the Creating Calm Network. And that is a global network which brings together agents of change from all around the world, and people who want to be the change, people who are high in the vibrational level. So it became a thought, and then a dream, and then a reality. And so that was a pretty neat law of attraction practice
Yes.
of
Yes.
just attracting change agents. And it's fun. I love doing it. And so mostly I do that. I'm an author. I do that sometimes. And I was just telling Sandra and Tony, and now I'm raising some chickens and a couple of wayward dogs. But it's all good. And partly, like you said, Sandra, it's part of loving your life, waking up every day and just say, "I love my life, bring it on." And I think that makes it happen.
Very definitely. So now we're going to meet Tony, and Tony is right next to me on a computer, so I need to mute myself. Okay.
Hi, I'm Tony Winters, and I'm an artist, and spend several days a week over here at the art school with Sandra, and that always brings my energy level up. And I enjoy sitting here being part of her panel every week. So it's nice to meet you all.
Awesome, Tony. So she's got to mute herself or we get an echo, echo, echo. There she goes. Yes, I love being with Tony too. It's just uplifts my day. And Ann, Ann and I met.
Mhm.
At first, it was just like a little spark, because we met at a retreat where we were fellow authors, and I remember Anne at that retreat standing up saying, I have a vision about having a network, and here we are now.
Mhm.
You have a network, I'm on the network, and others are going to join us because it's so much fun to be on this network. So I wanted to now tell you or talk to you a little bit more about the radio dial. So this crazy radio dial here. So can you think of a time when your radio dial or your vibrational meter was not on the highest? And when I was preparing my broadcast, I started thinking, well, I remember one time, or not one time, many, many times, my husband Tom, I use Tom a lot as my law of attraction stories. So he's always handy. So anyway, he has this thing about people who sneeze or cough. He says that, did you hear that?
That was my dog.
Love it. He matched the vibration. That stuff happens all the time when you work with law of attraction. So anyway, Tom, if we're going to someplace together, I say, Tom, just cool it on the sneezing and coughing thing. But he can't. He just always talks about it. And sure enough, who will sit by us? A cougher, a sneezer. We go to a restaurant, and who will sit by us in the whole restaurant? You guessed it, the coughing and the sneezing. One time it was a whole family full of colds when we were taking a plane ride that sat by us in a restaurant. So that's his radio dial, and I get lots of practice in trying to keep my vibe up so we don't get so many sneezing and coughing people. Now, there was another time where I was preparing for my wedding with Tom, and my vibration was so high. Now, this is way before I knew about law of attraction. This was 33 years ago. But I was driving down the road on the freeway, and there was a huge traffic jam, and I thought, I'm going to I can tell that this is going to be a while before it clears. The bridge is up, so I'm going to get off, and I'm going to see what I can get done for the wedding. So I got off and off the ramp, and I found a florist, and I ordered my flowers. And then right next door was a bakery, and I ordered my cake for my wedding. And then I went down a little bit further, and I got back on the freeway, and guess what? You probably guessed it. I was actually ahead of where I had been before. So that is a good law of attraction, high vibration, and creating more of a high vibration, because I got all that done and arrived to work actually ahead of time. So Anne, and I'm going to ask Anne and Tony to answer some questions. Can you think of a time when your radio dial or vibrational meter was not very high, and what was the result? How about you, Anne, first?
I work at keeping mine pretty high, Sandra, but I think the time I could think of was last December when I was going through a lot of life changes. So I was going through leaving the hospital. I was a trauma chaplain, and I had decided to leave that position. My marriage was failing. I didn't like the way Creating Calm Network was going, and just a whole bunch of things at once. So it was a time when I used it as an opportunity then to revamp and re-energize my life, and I did that by moving, not a geographical cure because I took all my stuff with me and moved from Florida to a place in Wisconsin, and just sort of recreated my life, and did it with the fact of saying that this major shift was the opportunity to make something different happen. And a lot of changes have gone on, so it turned out to be a very positive thing. And I think when we look at our challenges as opportunities, we get a lot better reaction.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, Tony, can you think of a time?
I can. My mother turned 89 on Thanksgiving last year, and I really wanted to be there. I called in to the boarding to get my dog boarded, happened to have a spot. I was real timid about going to see my mom and dad, hadn't seen them in years, hadn't been on the road by myself in years. Decided, you're just going to do it. And I did it, reconnected with my sister. I have the best relationship with my mother. My father, who has severe dementia, actually talks when I'm on the phone and when I'm there in person. So the energy level is just soaring by the time I get there, and I always have a wonderful, wonderful visit. So you just have to overcome and stretch, and the vibes follow.
Awesome. Awesome, you two. So, Anne, we were also talking about being a radio host, and I know I am on your Creating Calm Network and enjoying it thoroughly. All the help I get there with the publicity and the marketing and tips on how to do my show better. So, can you tell me what kind of a person would make a good radio host?
I think the key, if I look at all of our hosts, are people who are curious and people who are excited about life and then want to share that excitement, that passion. And that's one of the things I see in you, Sandra, is you just want to share all of the juicy, wonderful things with your gracefully aging or, programs with your golden goddess, with your law of attraction. And so that's the thing I look for in people, or that's what we attract, are people who are just very excited. And some people prefer to do audio and some people prefer to do video, and it's it just however they are comfortable. Like our friends, and Louise Moriarty from Pebbles in the Pond, she has a show where they were audio at first, but a lot of times they are very quiet. They're both channelers. They channel spirit. And I would think, are they off the air? So we switched them to video, because then you can see they're in this kind of moment of just being there. So at least video, you're still on the air and their eyes are blinking. But it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun, Sandra.
It certainly is, yeah. And they are a fun pair, those two. Really are. Anne and I mentioned earlier, actually I have it right here, Anne.
Oh, good.
This is where we met, when we were both authors in creating this book together. Do you remember that, Anne?
I do, and what I remember about, or what I love about it, is the synergy of a lot of creative people working together, making a dream happen. But think of how many of us in that book went on to really create something we're passionate about. That was my sort of launching platform to do Creating Calm. I think, Sandra, probably that was a launch for a lot of your work as well. For Kimberly, I know, for Maeve, Crawford. So It's an amazing experience.
Yes, it is. I remember we were in a big circle. How many? There were like 42 of us in the book.
I think.
And I don't know how many were at the retreat, but maybe 30? There were a lot.
Quite a few from all around the world.
Yeah. And we were sitting in a circle, and we were to just, like when you're in a mastermind circle like that, you get this. I have a graphic even for that. So you get this help. You get this kind of energy, law of attraction energy, which is always flowing and blowing. So when I was in the circle, what I said I would like to do is glide. I wanted to glide. And I've thought of that since. And recently, the Abraham Hicks, which I also follow, Abraham came up with the fourth step. First is ask what you want, and then allow it to happen. Then it'll manifest, receive, or not manifest, receive. But to keep it going is a glide. And I thought, wow, that's where it's at. That's that vibrazione. That's the vibrazione, is the glide. So that's what kind of was birthed there, and it didn't dawn on me for quite a while what it was. So that was really cool for me. So, and how can somebody, if somebody's really interested in being a radio host, what steps should they take?
One of the best ways is to find a format in order to have your show, whether it's a radio or audio, and you could do it by yourself, but it's so much more fun when you're part of a network. And I think that's the thing our hosts like, is just being part of a group. So take a look at what we're doing on creatingcalmnetwork.com, see the kind of shows, and if your show is something about lifestyle, improving the world, being a change agent, you might be right for the kind of work we do. If it's a different kind of show, suppose it's on sports or something very different, find an avenue where you fit in, or just start by yourself and find listeners who have the same kind of appreciation that you do. You know, Sandra, we wrote a book called So You Want to Be a Radio Host.
Yeah.
And it's available on Amazon, and a lot of the hosts put in what they thought of it, and so that's a real good primer on being a radio or television host, is So You Want to Be a Radio Host. And it was a #1 bestseller in reference for quite a while. And it was, all of us wrote that from the Creating Calm Network.
Yes, yes. And that's the kind of good stuff that happens when you get, like-minded people together, that really good, juicy stuff. And you can change, you can change your persona or whatever. I know I started out with Golden Goddess.
Right.
Then I switched to She, Self-Help Energies for help, and I still have an iTunes on that. And now I'm the Art of Living Ageless.
There you go. That was, I couldn't think of that. Yep.
Yep, that's that one. And then I'm creating something. I mean, like creator types, they just keep going. We're like little energizer bunnies. And now
my newest one is I'm going to start doing essential oils, and I'm calling it high vibration wellness. So, just teaching, because I think we love to teach and share. That's what people, people who all of us are just passionate about sharing what we learn.
We indeed are. And I would like to invite you, Anne, to come back and give us some information about essential oils and beauty, because on my Living Ageless, I have, thoughts, beauty, and solutions.
Wonderful.
And I haven't had a lot on beauty. Inner beauty, kind of, but not a lot on beauty.
Okay, yeah, because I've been making a lot of my own lotions and potions, because we want things that are organic and healthy. We want to know what's in them and not have all those chemicals in our beautiful bodies.
Well, I'm excited. So when the broadcast is over, let's schedule it.
Okay.
That would be wonderful. And then thing that I've been kind of creating lately, not kind of, quite a bit, is I have been creating a 4-part series of Law of Attraction, Learn Law of Attraction, there we go, Fun, Easy Way. Because I'm fun and easy, and I want people to know it in a fun, easy way. So it's going to be four parts, and I'm putting it together now. It's going to be launched either before the first of the year or on the first of the year, towards the first of the year. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then, Anne, we still got a couple minutes here. What about hearing? I know you also have a coaching program, Magnify Your Magnificent Self. So can you tell us about that one?
That one was, I work with women who are in our age group, who have achieved so much, who have always been goal-oriented, and we get to a part where we don't necessarily, some of us, have goals. And so it's really kind of finding our own authentic self, because we're already magnificent. So it's about taking and stepping into it, about owning it, about stretching out of our comfort zones. That's what we've been working on with some of the groups now, is stepping beyond. I think Tony was talking about the benefits of when you step beyond your comfort zone. So it's really wonderful working with women who have been successful to just magnify it. And that's why we use that term, because we're already magnificent. We're just taking it another step further. And we use the lotus because the lotus lives in dirty, mucky water. And, you know, to get to be our age, we've got a lot of muck to fertilize where our beautiful blooms. So it's about celebrating our muck in order to bloom even more beautiful.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, I'm so glad I attracted you today. Oh, so this is we're at the end of our broadcast. We have 5 more minutes, so I like to use that last 5 minutes to say what really touched you today. What one thing kind of lit you up and made you think of different approach to things, or something that kind of lit up inside. So the energy, I'll go first because I got it right on the tip of my tongue. So what the energy that really got to me today was that mucky part of the lotus. You know, I'm thinking, yes, you know, how many times I got to raise myself up, or like Tony, you know, put my boots on and just go for it. The mucky part of life, and how beautiful the flower is, the bloom is, and that's really true. That's really true. That's no matter what age you are, that beauty, in inner beauty, outer beauty, who cares? It's just beautiful. So let's hear from Tony. Tony, what did you lit you up today?
What lit me up today was actually the Quagmire reference. This morning I was really walking deep in Quagmire and decided my energy always picks up when I come to art, whether I want to or not. And I come and the kids just energize me, their humor, their different outlook on life. And then I come up here and I just get so high on the energy, and it lasts, and it just feels so good, and it helps me remember how I want to feel every day. But you know, some days you wake up and your feet are 3 feet in quagmire, and you just have to just slog, pick them up, move on, and pretty soon the energy just starts building and building and building, and you're having a wonderful day before you even know it. So that's exactly the metaphor that worked for me today.
So Anne, I guess you hit it on the head with us two.
And you know, for me, I had two. Sandra, seeing your smile, first of all, just lights up. You know, it reminds me of all of the times I've seen it, whether it's been in Pearlstone or whether it's been on conferences that we've done, you know, video conferences. So that was the start. And Tony, I love the story of how you stretched to go visit your family and the benefits of that stretch. Because I think so often it's easy for us to say, you know, I haven't done it, I'm not going to do it. But when we can stretch out of that comfort zone, boy, oh boy, we get those benefits. And that was a nice reminder of the benefits of stretching beyond one's comfort zone. So those two, those are mine.
Great. So that wraps it up for today. You know, be the change you want to see in the world. And now I'd like to have Anne tell us where people can get a hold of you, and what's your best email address, and what's the best way.
Great. The best way is Ann, A-N-N, at creatingcalmnetwork.com. So whether it's for magnificence or essential oils or being a radio host, that's the one that I really keep my pulse on the most. So it's Ann, A-N-N, at creatingcalmnetwork.com.
Awesome. And Tony?
Unmute myself.
There you go.
I have a email address. It's winterstony1@aol.com, and that's WINTERSTONEYE1@aol.com. and welcome any comments. Thank you. There.
We're getting good at this, Tony.
I know.
I want to invite Tony too next time. You need to mute. Mute.
I thought I did.
Nope. You need, anyway, there we go. So I want to invite Tony also next time to bring some of her artwork. She does these, oh, I got it.
Yeah, you will.
I got it. She gave me one. So she does these magnificent little miniatures.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
That's all watercolor. And with not a tiny brush. So she does these beautiful little miniatures, and I want to, last time she had one, another piece of art she did, so I want to invite her to do that next time. And then for me, where you get a hold of me is everything's under my name, Sandra Longmore. And so it's with an S, and Longmore is with an L. And social media is all under Longmore and Sandra. And also my internet site is sandralongmore.com and everything else. I've been really playing around with Pinterest. I've been having lots of fun with Pinterest. Wow, I just got on it the other day. I mean, I've had boards, but I really got into it and had a little extra time and at Starbucks and had my coffee, and I just started playing with Pinterest. So I'm on Pinterest now too, so you can look me up there. And next week, I'm going to have Donna Mills on my program, and Donna does hand writing analysis. Fascinating, just fascinating. I just am really excited about what she has to share to uplift and inform my audience. So, bye for now. Why don't you make Hang Out with Sandra Longmore a habit your first 3 Saturdays of the month at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. See you later.